Only war.
What is up, gents? 40K Dirtbags here. We are going to be talking about Worlds Championship of Warhammer 40K, invited by Games Workshop, everybody all over the world. There was about 250 players from, I think they said 50 different countries, from 5 different continents, all going to Worlds. If you guys aren't familiar with Worlds, I wasn't either until I think last year. Last year was their first year doing this invitational for Games Workshop, and it went so well that they're like, all right, let's keep this going. And this year it doubled in size to 250 players. And to get a ticket to Worlds, they call it the golden ticket because it's shit, mine's downstairs. They literally have it as a golden ticket that says Warhammer 40K, and then they give it to you when you win a GT that's sponsored by Games Workshop and has a golden ticket. So this year I was lucky enough to win Nova Open, which was a super major. I think it was like 700 something players. They gave me a golden ticket, and since it was a super major sponsored by Games Workshop, they actually paid for my flight as well down to Georgia, Atlanta, Georgia, which was amazing. I can't wait to get into how it actually was, the Worlds event. And then I won I came fourth Atlantic City. I won Texas Open, so Lone Star Open, which was about 250 players, another super major, and that was my first golden ticket. And then I won Nova after that, which gave me a free flight. So since I already had a golden ticket, it got passed down to the next person in line, whoever it was. I think the top 4 players in Nova already had a golden ticket. So they went to like number 5, who got a golden ticket to go to Worlds. But I was able to keep the flight, which was super kind of them for winning Nova. So they paid for my flight to go down to Georgia. And then we played 8 awesome games of Warhammer 40K against the best players in the world, and there was actually an American who won it with Custodes. Like, he's, holy shit, nobody expected that to happen. He's actually on Team USA now, and we've been talking, which is really cool. So just to have Team USA win the Worlds Open was super cool. Lennon actually got to second place because he was top table with him as well. So yeah, we're gonna get into all that in this video. We're gonna go over each game because I did take a couple pictures of each game to kind of go over my matches. Wasn't too keen on doing a super in-depth battle report in this video. It's going to be more of like what worked for me, what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy, what you guys could be looking forward to, trying to get a ticket to golden ticket to Worlds, and then just kind of go over like what's going on with the Dirtbag Nation. So we're gonna get into the video first. Thank you for clicking on the video. If you guys are new, want to support the channel, head over to Discord. It's probably one of the best Discords out there for 40K. And if you guys are Patreons, wouldn't be doing this without you. Obviously, all this travel and all this stuff is really for you guys to kind of show that like we can do what we preach. Because as coaches, we're trying to teach you guys how to get better at 40K. And if we're winning GTs and tournaments, going to Worlds, like you guys can see, like, hey, I want to invest in this guy because I believe what he's doing. I like how he is, what he does. So that's kind of the support. So thank you guys so much for all that. And then what else we have? The rankings just came out for Worlds. They just posted it yesterday. So our rankings got pushed up. So we'll go over that. And then we'll go over at the end what really it's going to be looking forward to in 2025 for us. So let's get into it. We'll go over the sponsors. We'll go over this first, and then we'll go over the sponsors real quick. Sorry, I have to do it. And then we'll get into the matches of the 8 games that we played for 40K. So first off, I'd like to say ITC rankings just updated. If you guys are new, this is how they rank 40K players individually across the world. You can check it based off the region you're in. This is global. So this is all the players in the world playing competitive 40K that go to tournaments. Each tournament you play, you get up to, I think it's like 300-400 points based off what your ranking is. And then if you have top 6 of your things, so let's say you play 10 tournaments, they take your top 6 scores, and then that comes out to the world ranking. Then if you do a specific faction or detachment or army, like Chaos, they take your top 4. So whoever wins like best Chaos player in the world, which we're currently ranked number 1 with, that's what we're going for 2024. It'll rank your top 4 matches, which will get you whatever you are in your army. This is probably the highest I'll push for in a while. But currently, we are ranked number 6 in the world for 40K. And the best part about this is when I click on USA, because you can rank it based off of the country that you're in. When I go to USA, out of all the top players that you know in United States of America, they rank it on ITC as you being, you know, X out of, you know, X ranked on 40K. So this is what it's going to come up as. As you can see, gents, we are number 1 best player in the United States, ranked from ITC. Obviously, I'm not like the best player in the United States. It's just based off of points. So there's a lot of really good players that don't do, you know, 6 GTs in a year. They might go to like 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever. They might only go to team events. So I'm not saying that I'm the best player. It's just on ITC rankings. This is really what we're kind of pushing towards this year. Is I'm ranked number 1 above Sam Pope, who's on Team USA as well, and then TJ Lanigan, who we go to almost every GT with because he's a local dude. So we're literally ranked. Folger won the Worlds, and he's on Team USA as well. So you can just, and Kit is on Team USA. So you can just see like all these people are just top in the United States. We are ranked number 1, Chaos Cult. And then when you click on this, you can click on your name. You can search your name as well. But when you click on your name, I put all the dirtbag stuff in there, obviously. You can click on Chaos Space Marines or whatever faction you want to look into, and then it'll tell you where you're ranked in that specific faction. That's kind of how you search for the factions. You can do team as well. If you're on a team, you can see where your team ranks. Which in 2025, we're going to have Team Dirtbags getting up there. We're going to start doing that for the Patreons as well. So right now, we're ranked number 1 Chaos Space Marine player in the world. Josh Roberts, Johnny Zoo, Jonathan Summerfield, and Tyler, they're all ranked, you know, those. And then it takes your top 4. So right now we have 1,000 points in our top 4 games. And we're going to LVO. That's the last tournament for ITC. So a lot of the people that you saw in the top United States, most of them are going to LVO. So as long as we do well at LVO, just like them, we're going to kind of like keep pushing ourselves up. And as long as I stay number 1, that's the goal. So that is the goal moving forward in 2025, is trying to get to number 1 best player in the world for the United States. All right, so let's get into the world video, and we'll be back after the sponsors. What's up, gents? If you want to support the channel, the best way to support us is to click on any of these links in the descriptions, as well as on the main page. We have our 3D6 Wargaming, the objective markers. We have the Rexar Lasers Terrain. Use the code DIRTBAG for free shipping. And also the Patreon page. That'll be at the end of the video. But the merch store is the news store. If you guys want to support and wear some of the swag at the RCTs and GTs coming up, make sure you come up to me and say, hey, check out this swag, because I will love it. We have a bunch of Orc swag, a bunch of 40K swag, but mainly we got the Dirtbag swag. This tumbler, legit, use it every single day. Coffee and water, and then these hoodies are so comfortable. I would recommend getting a size up just so they're comfortable on you, as well as with the t-shirts and any of the muscle tees. Not only can you support us at the merch store, but you can also support us on Discord by messaging me specifically, DM. We sell poker chips, which are great for objective markers, naming specific units that have buffs or debuffs, and sticky objectives. We use them every single game. All of the stickers are available, as you see over here. And then all these models, we have Cypher, which is in every single list. We have our Tech Priests for Grey Knights and any Space Marines. They're really hard to get. We have the Phobos Librarian, the Phobos Lieutenant with the combi weapon. Caldus Assassin should still be in every single list, and the old school Cotiez model. Sorry, the new Tau detachment just dropped. We got to do a video on that. It's got Kroot in it, so of course we're going to be playing it, testing it out. I think the Kroot detachment is just insane. But let's get into the video, guys. So with Worlds, it was cool because there's technically no chess clock. You could run the chess clock, just kind of keep pace with everything, but they wanted it to be more relaxed, chill, have a great game, play a good opponent from another country. It was set up into brackets. So each bracket, I believe, had 8 players. It might have been 16 top 4. Yeah, 16, 8, 4, 2. Yeah, so each bracket had 16 players. I think there was like 16 brackets. So you all played 4 games, and whoever was undefeated in that bracket got to go to top 16. That was kind of how they did it. After the 4 games, if you had any ties or any 2 undefeateds, which I think there was 3 brackets that had a shadow round, they had to play 3 games that day. So on day 2, after the 4th game, if there was any brackets that didn't have a clear winner, they all had to play a shadow round to then determine who's going into top 16. And then top 16 went off and did their own bracket. Everybody else was kind of just like, boom, here's the next 4 games. You can line up to anybody else that has your same record. And what was cool is not everybody in your bracket was from America, all that stuff. So you weren't allowed to play another American if you're from America until it was like you couldn't get around it. So if all the Americans like won, and then at the last game it was just American versus American, then yeah, you would play another American. But it was cool because I didn't play any Americans. It was just everybody from all different countries. So it was super fun. Now, what I have to say up front is Worlds is 100% worth looking forward to and going to. This was some of the best 40K games I've played, and no stress, no arguments, it was just everybody knew what was going on. Take backs, stuff like that. If you can do something different, it's like, yeah, you can do it that way. We both kind of like talk it out and stuff like that. Like you both are at that level where you know what's happening on the table. So when you see somebody like moving up and like doing this, like, oh, do you mind if I like just do that? And they're like, yeah, go ahead, do whatever. Because like that they could do it, and they just have to, whatever. So these 40K games, you're not going to have a bad game going to Warhammer 40K, and you getting to that spot prove that you can play the game. There's this one guy I met who's a dirtbag as well. So he got a ticket, like 5th place or something. So he got handed a ticket, and he's only played like 3 GTs this year because he's like new to 40K, and he got to go to Worlds. So if you're lucky enough to get ranked or get into that top 5 rankings later in the season, other people might already have GT tickets, so you might get past one down, and then you can go to Atlanta, Georgia to play in Worlds, and you can ask him. He freaking had a blast playing all these people, and he'll actually pop up in some of the pictures in here. So first game, guys, it's 4-hour games. So like I said, you take your time. There's only 2 games in a day. With 4 days. So you played 8 games over 4 days. It's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I flew back on Sunday night. I was only in Georgia, so it was like an hour and a half long flight. But yeah, so let's get into it. First game was against Guard. Now, Guard is busted at this point. This was before the nerf. We did use the world FAQ, where they can't rapid ingress within 3 inches. You guys knew what I'm talking about, the equivalents. So they can't rapid within 3 inches, which makes sense. Now they can't even come within 3 inches anyway because it's only 6 inches. So you can block out 6 inches pretty easily with Chaos Cult. And if I haven't said, I'm playing Chaos Cult, the normal Chaos Cult list that I've been running. But he had a bunch of Ogryns. He had these bikes, which are super scary, into 5-up invuln save 1 wound models. He had the plasma dudes. He had 2 full units of Aquilans. He had the horse guy. A lot of it was custom. Really cool looking army. He had this little tank thing which blocked out deep strikes, which was dumb. He had this tank, which is a 2-up save, bunch of Ogryns with guns. And these are all his other tanks. So a bunch of the transports, these are all 2-ups. I think these are 3-ups. Bunch of battle cannons, the auto cannon dread, battle cannon. Yeah, really cool looking army. And this is the deployment. So day 1, we played this deployment, which I believe was 7. Perfect for melee armies. So a lot of the shooting armies, like, they didn't really make it past this terrain unless you were playing like another shooting army or you're really good and you knew exactly what to do. But this was I think it was Ritual. So we played Ritual round 1, and you can see there's really not a lot of line of sight there's so much line of sight blocking. There's like a little rectangle here. You can only shoot like through this little gap. You can shoot kind of like through this little gap, and then that's it. But you can stage there, a really good staging point there. You can stage on the back of here because the clear plexiglass is up to here. So you can put a lot of your guys like right here. So there's a lot of good staging in this map, which obviously helped out the Chaos Cult a lot. So, turn 1, this is basically our deployment. You put everything on the line. I put a lot of stuff on the line. I have these guys being my scout guys. These guys are the guys that come back. D3. Nurglings up front. Seekers, they can scout 9 and then move up. So Seekers, I did test another GT, which we won last weekend. And I took out the Seekers and Beast of Nurgle for Sile, the demon character that gets back up on a 2+. Looking at this, definitely would have been a little bit different because the Seekers are about to block the shit out of these transports. Yeah, and then the ritual obviously is pretty easy for our deployment. You make objectives, stuff like that. Guys, I'm not going to go super in depth with the battle reports. I'm going to kind of like go picture by picture and kind of try and remember, because this was from a month ago, on what the battle reports were. But I still remember like the opponents, the faces, like how they played and stuff like that. This was a really cool game because there's just so many tags, so many transports, and we did happen to go turn 1. So turn 1, you can see, let's rotate this. I don't want to edit, I want to rotate it. So this is basically after turn 1. We moved up, scouted up, advanced, and then charged. We got all of our dudes here. I have to get rid of the edit. All right. So here you go. All the dudes got all the way up to here. We got these guys up top here. And you can see the Seekers scouted up 9, and then they moved up. I didn't get overwatched, I don't believe, because I stayed behind this little building. And then I charged, and I was able to tag up basically 1, 2, 3 tanks and block this tank from coming out. All these guys staged pretty well up here behind the wall. Nurgling scooted up here. Cypher moved up behind the little building to try and stop like Overwatch, stuff like that. I did get this guy within 12 so he can Overwatch turn 1 because he's got all the flamers in this thing. So if I run him up outside or right at 12 of here, it's only turn 1, so he can't Overwatch for 2 CP. These guys ran up to the objective. All these guys staged up right here, and then we just have an entire line right here. And I think we blew up this transport, so the guys got out. This transport got down to 1 wound, I believe. And then this one got down to, I believe, 5 wounds. So we hurt a bunch of these because we did 1 CP, 4 rolls to hit and wound. And then after this, he just starts clearing everything. So usually that unit, when they commit, they try and keep you in your deployment zone. Most of the time they die. So you have a couple options. You can stage and wait, especially if you go second, or you can just commit and just keep them on this side of the table, and then you basically have another wave, and then another wave, and then another wave, and that's basically how you win on primary, is basically just keep throwing bodies at them, especially 5 up invuln save, 6 up feel no pain. So yeah, and then round 2, we just kind of commit the green squad. We bring these guys on to set up for next turn, because I could charge, which I don't think I did. Yeah, so I failed the charge. I could charge, but I don't want to give up basically 2 squads to all their shooting on this turn. So I saved them for 1 more turn. So that way, if these guys do move up, I can just move up and just clear this entire zone. Demonettes did make their 8-inch charge. When they piloted and consolidated, they got obliterated. So they got clapped back by all of the guns in combat with these little bike dudes. So that was a bad play. I probably should have just deep struck him here and waited a turn, just like with these red guys. But all these dudes are coming back. This thing came back to do an action, the Beast of Nurgle. These guys are up here. We're blocking out the entire backfield. But again, Aquilans, they can come down within 3 inches. So this kind of is pointless. And this is where the Aquilans come in. So the Aquilans came in my backfield. That's why these guys are clumped up, and these guys are clumped up because once they came down, I just swarmed on them. And the goal with Aquilans, this is the first game I had against Aquilans, Aquilans, whatever the fuck you call them. And I didn't know what the hell they did, right? So I heard about them. I knew they can come with 3. I knew they were broken, but I didn't know what they could do. So what you got to do is throw your crap at them and only take them down to like 1 or 2 guys and then just let them be, because they don't have jump infantry. They're only speed 6. Surround them if you can, but they can bring them back on 2 CP. So you either commit to kill them if they don't have 2 CP, or you just kind of like whittle them down so it kills most of them, and then they have like 1 to 3 guys left, which can't really do a lot to you, and then they can't go back up in the air. But you don't want to try and kill them, because then if you kill them late game, they can just come back down turn 5 within 3 inches, either steal an objective, kill somebody important, or block you out. So we got Bile, who got out of the Rhino. Bile basically moved up, shot, charged, taken over this. The red squad's clean up on the bottom of the field. The green squad looks like they died to all the tanks and these guys who have rapid fire, lethal's insane unit back here. And then by the end of the game, this is our boy. So by the end of the game, this is basically the end board state. Let me actually pull up the points that we had for the match. All right, so game 1, we had a win with 81 points. All the objectives after, there was an objective here, which we were fighting over. There was an objective here. I had an objective back here, objective here, objective there. So basically with Ritual, you're just making them all kind of like on your strong side, on the opposite side of him. You're not really going and kind of really anywhere in no man's land. It's mainly right on your deployment zone. So it has to be outside of your deployment zone. And then within 12 inches, another objective. So first objective there, second objective there, third objective there. That's kind of the best way to do Ritual. So that was game 1, guys. First game, super fun, super awesome guy. Of course, going into guard. And again, this deployment, this map was really good for melee. So going into round 2, we have Roger. So Roger we didn't play, but Roger found me at Worlds. He's a dirtbag. He actually made this shirt for us, or for me. So is that your movement? And it's got a picture of Grey Knight, because we talk about that all the time. I actually have a shirt on the store that says, "Are you finished your movement phase?" Because that's one of the best questions to ask your opponent, and then their asshole like clinches up because like, shit, where did I leave room for you to rapid ingress? So thanks, Roger, for the shirt. We gave him a bunch of swag afterwards. Oh, that was mid. So that was halfway through the game. So we actually still have more pictures. Okay, sorry about that. It's been a while. So it looks like we moved up the red squad. So we cleared out the squad down here. Cypher's still alive somehow. He's camping that point. The red squad's slowly getting whittled down, shot by basically everything. He still has a bunch of tanks left. We only have like the cultists in the back deployment zone, just camping the objectives, getting 15 every single turn. These guys scooch up. Cypher's still alive on the objective. He can't really get to him. And by the end of the game, the tank is in the center. This tank is camping these two. These guys are camping that one. Cypher probably died. I think the guy moved up and killed Cypher. And then again, I still have a bunch of cultists with a Beast of Nurgle on the back. So end of the game, he had 64. We had 81, 35 primary, 36 secondary. He had 20 primary, because look at that, 0, 0, 5, and then going second, he had 15. So stopping him to a 0, 0, 5 on the first 3 turns is just brutal. He did stop me. I had a 5 turn 1, 5 turn 2, because of the freaking equivalence, and then 10, 15, 35, and then he had 31 for secondary. So 64 and 81. Next game, we went against Demons. This dude was awesome. I think he was from France. Me and him like saw each other the rest of the tournament. We always said like, "Hey man, how you doing?" and stuff like that. It was cool going into this because I knew Demons pretty well, playing Demons a lot at the local meta. Getting a ACDC into the Demons, I know it's a really easy, not an easy, but it's a really good matchup. We actually played Demons for the game winning at Lone Star Open for the championship. That's actually streamed if you want to check out Joe and War Games Live. And we blocked out now with Demons losing the 3-inch deep strike. It helps out a lot. They could still come down within 6, but I can block out 6 pretty easily. 3 is what I couldn't really block out. So he's got the standard Demon list, Be'lakor, the Slaanesh Demon. These guys I actually never seen in a list. The Seekers? No, the whatever these things are. The blue beast dudes. They're fucking like strength 6, AP 2 damage. Didn't know that going into it. 2 of the Soul Grinders, Big Nurgle, Papa, the Zinch, Birdie, Nurglings, Plague Bearers, and I believe Hounds. So, and then he was saying, I don't know if he plays differently overseas, but he was saying this is legal. And I'm like, there's no way that's legal. It's like the wobble base syndrome. So he said, yes, that's legal. So we called a judge over from 2 different countries. They both agreed that like you can't set your models up like that. It has to be completely on the ground, flat. So he was saying that if I blocked him out 1 inch away from the wall right here, he was never able to get on the other side. I was like, that makes sense. It just sucks, you know, that you're running a huge base army. I'm sorry. And then he has to basically run all the way around. So I was like, honestly, man, I'm probably not going to do that because I don't want you to, you know, not have a bad game and just get blocked out the entire game. But I probably won't be doing that. You're speed 14 anyway, so you're going to be able to move really fast around this wall. But yeah, that was the first picture of the game. Is this legal? So this is the deployment stepping stone. I put my same map layout. I put my Nurglings up here. He doesn't have a lot of infantry, so the Nurglings aren't really going to do a lot in this matchup. He's got a lot of -1 to hit, like this guy's -1 to hit. Everything I think within 6 of Be'lakor would be -1 to hit, or Be'lakor something is -1 to hit. It's a lot of -1 to hit in this area over here, so I need to like commit to kill one of these guys ASAP. He's got Nurglings right here, which I need to kill them as well. Anything into ACDC, they hate -1 to hit. So if you can get anything in your army -1 to hit, that's the best counter to this army that I have. Now, I do have 4 rerolls to hit and wound, which definitely helps, but the -1, -2 to hit is just brutal, like Death Guard. So we got the Seekers down here, everything else clumped up, Bile in the Rhino. These guys scout. These guys are just being set up to kind of run this way, the same plan as last time. And then he kind of puts everything on the line. So turn 1, this is our scout. This is our scout. He had turn 1, which I guess was good for me. This is because I have to remember why I flipped off the demon chick. I think because she has 1 wound left out of all that shooting, which is pretty funny. So we run up the red squad. Yeah, he went first. He moved everybody out here. The Nurglings were literally right behind her. So Be'lakor would have been in the aura, a -1 to hit, and she has built-in -1 to hit. So shooting these guys are always like -1 to hit. So it's really tough. I'm hitting on 5s with my cultists. And then with all the grenades and shooting, like look how many guys I lined up to shoot her. Cypher as well. I took her down to 1 wound, I believe, before the charge. Or maybe she only did 1 damage before the charge. So this is us committing. We did the advance and charge with this one. We spent a CP advance and charge on the green squad. So we just said YOLO. Put everybody forward. We killed Be'lakor pretty easily. With all of the green dudes. I have to get rid of fucking edit mode. Alright, got rid of edit mode. Yeah, so we committed everything to the top here. We wanted to kill this guy, kill Be'lakor, try and kill this guy. We committed a lot, so we moved up the Rhino. These guys didn't really want to get into combat, but they all moved up. The Seekers moved up. They wanted to block these guys from running around this way. The Nurgling stayed back here, so he can't basically walk over the wall at all. This guy is stuck there. He couldn't really fit his base. He could fit it like kind of going around, but there wasn't enough space for him to land over here. And let's see what we killed. So we killed Be'lakor. This chick didn't really get a lot of damage done to her. We stayed out of combat with these guys. We tied her up with the Rhino and 4 Seekers. This guy got down to 5 wounds. He brought up and brought back down this guy. These guys committed 14 inches over here. This is where I didn't know what they did, so I kind of went into them, and that was a bad idea because they have a lot of attacks, strength 6, AP 2 damage. These guys rapid ingress back here because I want to keep committing to this side, because this side I'm not touching. Anything that has Geo on, I want to stay completely away. He did a mistake. He should have put Geo in the center, because now that gives you some flexibility of you tying up my ACDC brick. I can't fall back and shoot or charge. So with Geo all the way down here, I'm like, all right, that is your objective. I'm not going anywhere near that objective down there. All you, bro. You got that. Let's just commit everything up here. So we have all 3 squads of our ACDC bricks up here, just trying to kill all the demons in one go. So after this, we finished off this Soul Grinder. No, he backed up. These guys moved up this way again, tagged these things, which was a bad idea because I don't have saves and it's 2 damage. And over here, these guys are just slowly getting whittled down. This guy's protected behind the wall. All these guys are just, again, little pot shots into the demons. And we finally killed the Slaanesh Demon Prince, Demon Chick. The other Soul Grinder died up here to the red squad, advancing charging. We tied up the bird, we tied up the Soul Grinder. So these 2 guys can't go up into the warp. The green guys actually lived, so they fell back, so they're going to start making some more dudes so they can commit again. These guys fell back into the Rhino. They can go in a Rhino, so if they get down to like 12 dudes, you can actually put them back in the Rhino. Bile's still alive. All the cultists are just spreading out everywhere, so he can't get anywhere in the backfield. And then we try and tie up. So he's OPSEC 5 on here. So we basically advance and get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the point, just so that way I try and stop his primary. We don't want to touch him in combat. We just want to tie him up. Demonettes commit. They charge in, do a couple devs. Nothing crazy. This is the center objective. We made 2, 4. We're back up to 6 big guys with this unit. I love this unit. Like him bringing back D3 models is just so fun. These guys got out of the Rhino. They got the bird left. Cypher's still alive. Bird is about to be attacked by all of the red dudes up here. 1 Seeker lived. I don't know how. But yeah, we're basically 30 OPSEC on the center, 20 OPSEC over here, 7 OPSEC back here, a bunch more OPSEC on here, tying this up. And now we're just slowly chipping away. It's just death by 1,000 cuts. The bird finally died by committing the green squad. I think, rapided the cultist back here, so that way next turn we can just move up and get onto the point to steal his home field objective. But by the end of the game, how the hell did he get the hounds back here? I guess at the end of the game he was trying to steal my home field objective, but this is basically the end board state right here. So he still has Geo. I don't think I did anything to him the entire game. The bird is dead, and then he's got 3 beast hounds back here. Cypher somehow still alive, and then I think he has plague bearers back here. And that was it. So you got Geo, Plague Bearers, Hounds, and that was it. End of the game, we had 100. So we get 13 on primary, 13, 13, 15, 15, or 13, 15, 15, 15. 0 turn 1, 13, 10, 11, 10. And then he had 14 for primary, so I'm sorry. He had 8, 3, 3, 3. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. No, he had 0 on turn 5 for primary. Wait, how did I? No, you must have had 5 on turn 5. And then 5, 6, 4, 2. No, he went first. That's why. So he couldn't get primary on turn 5. Okay. So 100 to 47, game 2. So we finished off day 1, 2-0, with that terrain setup, which was just nuts. Perfect for melee. And this was the statues that they had first time they started doing 40K. This, I don't have the company, it's that company in the back. This is just insane. Like, he's got the gore, like the crazy detail, the veins in the face. Like this was, if I had $2,000 to blow, this would be what I blow it on. God, it's so freaking cool. Have it on the despoiler. So they were showing these off at the thing. They had Titus there with swappable heads and weapons. So he's got the demon hammer, the chainsword, and this is it. Weta Workshop. So if you guys are interested in this, check them out. Not sponsored by them at all. And this I thought was funny. We went to dinner afterwards. Soup of the day is whiskey. I'll say, all right, I gotta take a picture of that. This is day 2. This was our first loss. So this is our only loss. So this game is going to be super crucial to talk about. So I'll probably spend a little bit more time talking about this game. But we got almost the same as the other one, except he's got Sentinels. Never seen these guys before. 2-up saves. He's got the Bulwark dude. A bunch of the jungle fighters with the scout. These dudes are almost in every single list. They have every keyword ability known to the game, which is scary. He's got a 4-up damage sniper, which we found out later. This has the 2-up save. These guys all have 2 up saves, toughness 11. He's got the character squad. These guys with the rapid, he's got 20 Aquilans. Like, it is a really, really good list. And then 3 Ogren shooting. I think this is the guy that won the bracket. So good player from Ireland, I believe, and the horsey dude. So look at this map. Oh my god. Day 1 was made for melee. Day 2 was made for shooting. So I was posting this in the Discord because you could just see this is what I have to fucking go into at Worlds with against guard. So you can see even the objectives aren't even on the other side of this wall. So there's nothing really covering. Like, this would be a good staging point if you didn't have fucking tanks that can just come out this way and get, you know, shots down here. So he has the entire line. If he gets to here, he has the entire line of here. Like, he's got all of this to shoot at. So I have literally nothing over here for deployment, which might have been a mistake. Who the hell knows? He's got these guys that have infiltrate, and then you can redeploy them. These guys are just awesome. So he basically blocks out my scout. So I put my scouts up here with my Nurglings. So the Nurglings up there to try and help out with scout. He won the roll up, so he was able to put these guys down first. I probably would have scouted up to this building. So I think if I would have replayed this again, I'd probably put these guys here, so that way they can scout and set up for the next turn. This was just too far back. So that was my deployment mistake. Was these guys should have been over here, and forces him to redeploy them, or they just die, which I didn't know that they were so good that they don't want them to die for free. So if I would have knew that these guys were like 110 points and you don't want them to die turn 1, I probably would have been more aggressive and deployed them here and be like, all right, do you want to redeploy your fucking amazing super duper unit? And he would have been like, yeah, of course. So then he would have redeployed them. Then I would have been able to scout forward, which would have got me in a way better position here to threaten all of this, which would have been way better on my part, or to scout up to here to get better over here. So I probably should have put the green guys here, yellow guys here, and this probably would have won me the game, or had a way better shot at winning the game on deployment. So I kind of lost fearful of deployment and the fucking map terrain setup. Like, this is just dumb. All right, enough of that. Let's get into the battle. I had turn 1. So I said, all right, we're going to try and commit and do the same thing we've been doing against all the guard players. And it was probably the worst idea I had at this tournament. So look how far away we were. He redeployed his sentinels up front to block basically everything. He redeployed the guys up front here. And I think he redeployed maybe the Catechins to scout forward this way. So I went from back here, moved up 6, advanced, and then charged. Going into 2+ save guys wasn't the best idea. I think I failed I don't know if I failed the charge, but I don't know if I did the full rerolls to hit and wound. So Seekers moved up as well. So Seekers scouted up 9, moved up, charged. I wanted to tag this unit. I think they overwatched my Seekers and killed all but 1. So when I killed all the Catechins, I didn't kill all of them. I killed enough to leave 1 fucking dude. That dude died. I could have then piled into the Catechins or whatever these things are and tied them up for a turn, because then they couldn't have shot. I mean, they probably would have killed him in combat because they have a lot of attacks with full rerolls, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but there's definitely not enough attacks going into the jungle fighters. So again, we tied him up, and this is basically what a good guard player does. You can see I tied up a bunch of stuff here. All he has to do is back up, go boom, move, and then back up to be 7 inches away, and then I can't do anything. And that's basically what happened. This was like the first dumb thing I did in this game. So second dumb thing. First dumb thing was deployment. Second dumb thing was committing turn 1 for no apparent reason. We put this guy out on the objective, sure. Nothing went over here. Green guys kind of ran up there where they should have fucking started to begin with. And yeah, so I really want to play this game again because I definitely would have done a lot of different stuff. He moves up these guys, which have no deep strike within 12 inches from that little mystic guy, which is really awesome. Catechins move up, take both objectives. These guys just obliterate. You can see the whole yellow unit is dead besides the one character. That's it. So everybody, you can see, backed up. Sentinels backed up. These guys backed up. The tank backed up. This tank backed up. Like, everything just moved back to be outside 7 inches, so that way I can shoot the shit out of everybody. This was one of the mistakes that this guy did. Do you see this one dude right here who's battle shocked? He almost lost the game. He almost lost the game because this one catechin moved 6 inches to here. He fell back, so he was right here went for his movement, surrounded by my yellow guys. So let me go back. That catechin right here moved around here to here. So he was right here, okay? At that point, I was like, hey, do you want a glass of water? I like walked away because I was like, did he just fucking give me this game right here? Because like you could only shoot me with one unit, and then I pile into that catechin, and then he can't shoot me anymore. I'm like, all right, that could be fucking game. So then after he's done all the movement, he's like, you can pile into, or you can go into that guy, right? I was like, yeah. he's like, fuck. Do you mind if I move him this way instead? I was like, you haven't started shooting yet. That's fine. Like, again, it was the top best play in this world. Like, you know, he called himself. He did it before he started shooting. Now, if he started shooting and then I piled into that guy, no, I would say, I'm sorry, I can't do it. That is a player mistake right there. But before he started shooting, he's like, you can go into that guy. I was like, yeah. And then we both just started busting up laughing after I let him do the take back. And I was like, dude, he's like, all right, thank you so much. And I was like, dude, no worries. Like, that probably would have been game if you left that dude there. But again, you're gonna like do that because you're fucking at Worlds and you're supposed to have fun. So he fell back, that guy over here instead, which was I think he put move on him, and then he just basically went like 9 inches that way. So yeah, so he backed up everybody, blew up that fucking yellow unit. That yellow unit's dead. He killed I think that one guy on the point. I still have like 5 of the blue dudes left. There's cultists, trader guard, green guys, cultist back here, and then bile and everything went out here to do an action. So I did containment with the rhino and containment with bile. So that was turn 1. Yeah, turn 2. We bring on our red guys. I was a little bit closer to the Ogren here than the guy with no 12-inch deep strike, so I was still able to get a 9-inch charge like right here. So I brought the red guys in. I was like, hey, if I make a 9-inch charge, this probably could help out a lot. So I make the 9-inch charge. I don't have +1 to hit, +1 to wound, or anything crazy like that, so I didn't really do anything to this unit. The green guys commit up here. They move up, charge, kill the jungle dudes, and then we tie up these guys. I wanted to kill these guys, but I think I rolled like a 3 for the fucking charge. So I rolled really bad for the charge roll here, even with the +2 to move. So I had like a 4 or 5-inch charge. So I wasn't able to get like all my green guys into this unit to try and kill this unit pretty reliably. I think I had assassinate this turn, so I wanted to kill this unit. Cultist moved up. He ran up on the point. These guys moved up. These guys moved up. So I'm basically trying to get this point as much as possible. This was another mistake. This is Scourged Earth, I believe. And I think I started burning this objective way too early. Like, I just gave up 5 points every single turn. I played this match very, very bad. Demonettes came back here, which they didn't need to come back here. There was no point in me coming back here to charge. I think I came back there, failed the charge. So they're just dead back here. Yeah, I definitely flubbed this game pretty hard. He backs up again with all these guys, all the tanks. He kills my green squad down to my character. These guys deep strike up here to get the line of sight to shoot the green squad. Sentinels come back out to play. He just keeps backing up and blowing up my army from the table, which is smart by him. I only have 4 red dudes left. 5 red dudes left with the character over here, with everybody still alive. Like, this is just downhill at this point. Like, we basically could call it at this point. Quillins came down here, blew up most of my cultists on all of the points. Again, I burnt that objective for no reason. I should have kept camping it to get at least some points going. Powell went back into the Rhino. We started charging and taking the Aquilans down to like a little bit. Cypher went in, flubbed, didn't kill anybody, which was hilarious. Like, he has a 4-up save, I think, base. So in cover, he still has a 4-up save, just rolled all the 4s and 5s in the world. Tank is surrounded, but again, fell back, just shooting me. This one guy who almost lost the game is still alive, still battle shocked, running away, which is hilarious. Like, that is the MVP right there. Nurglings went up, the squad tied him up, and I think that is really it. So the end of the board state, I didn't really have a lot left. I think next turn he basically just backed up and blew up everybody. End of the game, we had 60 to 90. You can see turn 3, we burnt it, so didn't need to burn it. I could have got 5, maybe 10. So I would have had 5 more points. So 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Yeah, so probably wouldn't have really done anything differently. 25 secondary, so 60, and then he had 5, 10, 10, 10, 5, because he burnt one of the objectives to 40. 8, 8, 10, 7, 5, so 90 to 60. Again, you could just see the deployment messed me up, and then committing way too early messed me up. So redoing those, deployment and committing turn number 1, I think this would have been a completely different game, even with the open terrain. So I could have won with the open terrain if I would have played a little bit differently. But great game. Guy won the bracket, so definitely is a good player, and then made it to top 16 because he won the bracket. So that was cool. Well, next game against Grey Knights, there was a bunch of Grey Knights at Worlds, which was cool. And this one was in our bracket, and I didn't really want to play Grey Knights. I haven't played, I think I played Grey Knights once with this detachment, but anything with a 2-up save is bad into ACDC. So it's hard, especially they have Armor Contempt. So anything with 2-up save, you ignore my AP1. If you just roll a lot of 1s, you can die. So with this matchup, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Dread Knights. They can literally all start on the table because I don't have any shooting. Strikes, interceptors, strikes. He's got Drago. I think he's Drago. Just a bunch of fucking dudes. Again, right in the open. Deployment. Yeah, so how the hell, I don't know how the hell we won this one. Let's get into it. So turn 1, I just had to check who went first. So turn 1, he went first. So this is after his going first. Grey Knights obviously want to be picked up. He had Drago. He had a bunch of Libbies. I think he had 3 solo Libbies with Terminator Brick and Drago. Yeah, so the solo Libby's coming down just everywhere. It was hilarious. I think the first solo Libby blew himself up, which was funny. So these guys move up. What the fuck are these? These guys came down within 3? They might just be setting up. So these 2 dreads move up, try to get line of sight onto these dudes over here. Everybody else kind of like waited back because of my threat ranges. So what I said before, see where my yellow guys are deployed? Like, they were deploying on the line, so that way I can scout up 6 to try and get behind cover. That's what I should have done against the guard. And again, the green guys. So we learned our lesson. Green guys start in the center, so that way they can just kind of run up behind the wall. And then everything else over there. So these guys are usually together, the Rhino with the cultist up there. And then we got the green squad in the center. And then we get the yellow squad to either scout up in the center or scout this way. So we learned our lesson after the last game, which is good. You got to learn your lesson to get better. And then we touched the center, so that way if he does kill a couple of these guys, I can bring a guy back onto the center objective. So let's say I kill this guy, right? I bring back D3 models. So I can bring back at least him and then a couple more little guys. So I can bring back him, put him back on the objective, so that way I can get primary if he doesn't commit to the center. So if he doesn't come out, which I don't think he does, I can say, all right, boom, I got one more extra primary in the center. Over here, we're towing here. He's got a bunch of guys trying to line up to get some shots off on here. I think 3 dreads can kill an AC/DC brick if he lines everything up, especially with the new detachment, full rerolls. If he lines everything up, 3 dreads can kill an AC/DC brick. But me, I just have to try and not give you that line. But it's really hard, especially when you can uppy downy. So then after his turn, he doesn't commit here. So my green squad went this way, committed that way, because he has 2 dreads basically near my deployment zone. And the thing about Dread Knights is if you surround them, they can't fall back, because they can fall back, shoot, and charge. But if you surround them, they don't gain fly, because you can't advance, and you only gain fly if you advance. So that was a little trick knowing Grey Knights, is if you surround the Grey Knights, they're basically stuck with 5 attacks going into a full ACDC break. I'm like, all right, great, you killed 5 little dudes, here's fucking 30 saves back. Even if you use Armor Contempt, it's like, take 30 saves, you're gonna roll 1s, and then they're all 2 damage each. So that was my trick over there, was just commit, surround. Now 2 dreads, you can't up, down, and you can't shoot into combat. They can, but you can't shoot into me. That helped out a lot. So you can fall back, but then you have to desperate escape on a 1 or 2, you die. I'll take that trade all day. The yellow squad up here committed to kill some strikes on the center. This was a kill more mission, so this was one of my hardest missions, and of course I go into Grey Knights. So my goal is to kind of take off the chaff, the easy ones, and whittle down the Dread Knights until I can get them like really low, and then commit to really killing them with guns and stuff like that. The one dread, the Grandmaster Dread, came in my backfield all the way back here, which was scary. So he came down within 3 in the backfield and just kind of killed some people on the point. The red squad came in, I think they rapid because he went first. The red squad rapid down here. They advanced and charged and killed strikes, killed the interceptors, and then tied up the dreads over here. He did blow up a librarian, which helped in the kill more. So he still has a Libby. He's got strikes back here, Drago, Termes, and a Libby with the dread back here. So we're in a good spot right here because we're killing stuff. Oh, even with his 2-up saves, it's just the amount of volume coming into him. And I deep struck the Seekers for the first time into Killmore, which I definitely would be doing more often, because giving them up turn 1 for Killmore is just dumb. Anytime you play Killmore mission, don't give people turn 1 kills. That would be my biggest suggestion. He's got 2 dreads in my backfield. I'm basically giving up my home field objective. He's got a dread in the center. These other 2 dreads died, so all he has left is these 3 dreads. He has missed still. I think Cypher is dead. I think he came down this guy to kill Cypher, who was behind this wall. Beast and Nurgle on this point, Cultists on this point, ACDC Brick still alive. Demonettes came down. These guys fell back or moved back, misted back. I took over his home field objective. These guys came on the backfield. These Accursed Cultists, the red squad just running here, just trying to do all my damage. These guys came down and deep struck in the backfield. I still have Bile with the green squad coming back every turn on this objective. So we have this objective, this objective, this objective, and his home field objective. So we're trying to keep them off the objectives as much as possible. He's got, so this is where I messed up. He's got 2 guys hitting on 3s with his hammers. So he has to kill. All I should have done was move these guys up back here so he can't overwatch, and then only charge 1 dread. That was my mistake. So if I charge 1 dread, I can put all my guys on the objective to try and steal this this OBSEC. 1, 2, so 10. He's got 8. So he has to kill 2 guys. Yeah, I don't think I was gonna do it anyway. I think there was something in here where I messed up. Yeah, there was something that I messed up here where I just forget what should have happened. Basically, I shouldn't have given him this. I think he countercharged. That's what it was. So I charged 1 of them when I should have charged on the other side. So I don't give him the countercharge. I gave him the countercharge, so he countercharged onto the point, which then stole the home field objective. But I think we have enough left to really win this game. So he only has strikes back here in combat with my ACDC Brick, who's strung out from here all the way back to here. So I got 3 big guys over here, 3 big guys over here. They're all spread out. And then I got the Trader Guard Seekers in combat with the strikes, so they can't go anywhere. I got these 3 guys left of the yellow unit. The green guys keep coming back. And then I have Cultists in the Rhino, so they don't get killed easily with the Rhino. So yeah, that was basically the end board state. He's got 2 dreads left. These strikes, I believe, died because ACDC Brick, full rerolls to hit and wound. this is the final score. So this is again kill more. We killed more turn 1, or turn 2, which I was surprised. I didn't kill anything turn 1. He didn't kill anything turn 1. I had 8 for held more, killed 1, tied, held more, kill 1. So by turn 4, it wasn't enough left to kill. So my switch was, all right, I have to hold more now instead of killing more. So we finished out with 44. He had kill 1, hold 1, kill 1, hold 1, kill 1, hold 1, kill 1, hold 1. So he didn't kill me more at all throughout the entire game, which I was super shocked with, because Dread Knights should be able to kill cultists pretty fucking easily. And if you just kind of like hop around just killing all of the cultists, or at least focus down one ACDC brick, you should be able to win a kill more mission against the Chaos Cult. But for secondaries, he wound up with 19. So you had 3, 5, 4, 0, 7. We had 32 for our secondaries, so 86 to 61. Great opponent. I think at the end of the game I was like, sorry, Grey Knights are my main. So kind of knowing how to surround them with the Chaos Cult was definitely a key thing. And him obviously rolling a 1 for the librarian, killing him, basically helped me win the game. So that was a great game. Grey Knights versus Chaos Cult. This was all the armies on display. I just want to take a picture of a bunch of the armies, and let me get some more coffee. All right, let's see some of this detail. This was one of them. Fucking Eldar, so much detail. Weathering effects, hand painted stuff. So you guys can pause if you want to check out any of these armies. This is really cool. Light up like weird looking portal. Great and clean one, super cool. Customize. Some pink Tau, chaos looking Tau. This literally is chaos. He's got fucking wings coming out. That's so cool. Some Kroot. Really cool base. Guys coming through the portal and this big ass thing in the back. Some of the stealth suits converting. Really cool. Space Marines. They got fucking Tyranid armor. Like, that is cool. That is really, really cool. All of them. All the shoulder pads are Tyranids. That's badass. Look at that. Shields. That's some customization right there. That's really cool. Damn. This is probably my favorite one. So, it's a converted Sisters army. This is, fuck, who? I don't even know who this is. It could be Guard. No, this might be Guard. Ogryn. So I guess these are Ogryn. Okay, so it's a Sisters Guard Orc army. Like, look at that shit. Ogryn, Ogryn, Ogryn. So he's got sister, dude, even like the scythes from Death Guard. The Aquilans, the sniper dudes. I guess this is the horse dude. Jungle. Yeah, this army is freaking awesome. Earthshaker. Assassin, Caldas. Yeah, this was the coolest looking army. Look at that. Look at that paint job. That was really cool. And then there's the gun. All the graffiti. It's got to be a stencil. And this was like the best travel case army. So it basically just opens up, these fold down. It's a suitcase. And then you can put your army on display. These lit up in the back like comets. So I thought this was a really cool idea. This was nuts. So look at the background. And then he actually had like the light up effects. The LEDs. Super weathered effect. like terrain matches the bases exactly. The light coming out of the, like, this was cool. I guess this guy's base used magnets, so we could like take them off the base and put them on there. So cool. All right, game 4. So day 2, game 4. A good matchup going into this Knights. So this is the first time I've seen these Knights, which was cool. So this guy was super friendly. He actually took a picture after I signed his flag afterwards, which was awesome. This was such a smart idea. Next year I'll probably bring if I go American flag and have all my opponents sign it so we can hang it up somewhere, or maybe a dirtbag flag. That would be cool. Dirtbag flag. All right, this is the deployment. Same deployment as earlier. Yeah, because we had, yeah, same deployment as earlier. And we got, so sorry, this is the day 3 because it's 2 games per day. So this is the first game of day 3, different deployment. That's why I was like, this doesn't look the same. All right, so quarters. So I have my scout squad scouting up to here. These guys are basically going to try and move up to get on the objective back here. So if I can get defensive, I can move up 12, get out 3, get on the point, just a toad over here to try and stay out of line of sight of all this all of the shootings. Got my green squad over here, so that way they can move up to here or kind of run up there to stage. We scouted our seekers over to here, which he was still able to get line of sight on, which kind of sucked. So he just basically toes this objective because he's towering, so you can see like right down here to shoot the seekers. Seekers, again, they always die. That's kind of why I was like, all right, maybe I'll take them out of list. Like when they come in clutch to block out the opponent, it's great. If they don't go first, I probably have to scout them back, which then kind of defeats the purpose of them. And then I'm not fast enough to get on the other side of terrain features, so they usually just like, they're the easiest one to get a target at turn 1. So that's kind of why I was testing them out of the list, even though I really like them, but having the 100-point Demonette tax is what kills them. So I was bringing Sile because he's a little bit more tankier, great late game, has a flamer. So that was my trade-off. Was I still have to bring the Demonettes, but I can bring a more tankier unit to help out with secondaries, gets back up on a 2+, full wounds, 9 wounds, like pretty hard to kill compared to Seekers. That was the difference. He's got the Cald Assassin, this insanely awesome freaking knight back here with a ton of guns. Tamez 12. This guy, Canis Rex, badass. This guy had something special about him. I forget what he had. He's like a really special knight. I think he has a 2-up save, toughness 12, but he had something really crazy about him. Armor Contempt, maybe, but he was nuts. Like I had to kill him as soon as possible. If I commit on him, I have to commit and try and kill him. 2 of the gun guys in the back, 2 of the melter guys up front. And that was it. I think this was Burden of Trust, which also was bad for him because he had to keep his guys on the points to do actions or burdens. Seekers went from back here. There was 3 of them still alive, so they went from back here, scooted up 9 inches, and then charged this Helverin back here. If he were to counter, he has to counter into this guy, and then he can't consolidate back onto the objective. So he didn't counter to try and finish them off. So I basically charged, stayed outside of, 3.5 inches. So that way, if he does counter, gets base to base with me, he can't then pile back onto the objective. So that was a little good tactical play there. So that way he couldn't just move up, kill me, and then move back on the objective, which would have defeated the purpose of my Seekers. So Canis Rex backed up because he knew that these guys threatened really far, and he didn't want to lose Canis turn 1. This guy moved up into my deployment zone. I had to kill him. I think I got Bring It Down, and I didn't kill him, so I didn't do the full rerolls because I wanted to kill 2 guys in 1 turn because I had to Bring It Down. So I took this guy down to, I think, 5 wounds. And then on his turn, I think I killed him. And then another, so yeah, so nothing crazy turn one. I did what I was going to do, move these guys up, get on the point, hold that. He scooted up, I charged him, didn't kill him. This guy got on the point to try and do the same thing. So if he does kill this unit, I could then just keep these two guys here and bring one guy back onto the point for primary. So this is a good combo right here, because they can come back D3. So even though if he kills like this guy and a bunch of dudes back here, as long as these two, like these 4 guys are still alive, you can then at least bring one guy back and get 5 points for primary on the objective. These guys staged ciphers up front. These guys are staging to do secondaries in the center, and then I screened out my backfield pretty good back here. These guys probably could have been back a little bit further because they were in line of Canis, 36 inches from up here. And turn 2, we committed onto Canis. So we moved up, charged, went into Canis. These guys went onto the center objective. I think this was to kill the big guy. So we committed 2 units here. We rapided the red unit. So red unit came down here. We rapid ingress, advanced up, charged, committed, moved up, committed. So all these guys were committing into the big guy because I know I had to kill him. And then up here, I think he fought on death with Canis, which didn't have enough CP for him. That's what it was. So Canis interrupted instead of him fighting on death. So this guy died for nothing. Like, he didn't really get to do anything in this game. I think he failed the charge. That was another thing. So he moved up that guy to here and failed a 7-inch charge into my Accursed Cultist unit. So that was definitely huge. He re-rolled it, and then I think he couldn't re-roll it because Cypher was there. So he failed the charge, couldn't re-roll it because of Cypher. So then I just committed with him. He had 2 CP, so he interrupted with Canis Rex instead of fighting on death. So Canis Rex interrupted, killed a bunch of dudes, but we were able to kill this guy without any clapback. So that was great. Over here, we just have random dudes. This guy is holding the objective. Seekers are dead. This guy hopped out from over the wall on the other side over here. And then this next turn, we committed again into killing Canis's little dude down here. And then we basically wanted to steal his home field objective. All he has left is this big guy and this knight right here. So he's got a little knight here and a big knight. And then we're basically about to kill his other small knight here. So all he has left is a big knight, and we're basically holding all the objectives. So this was kind of like an uphill battle going into Chaos Cult with the Knights. I kind of knew that how this matchup was going to go going into it. But this is the end board state. He still is a big guy. He wanted to try and... He took a secret mission. He wanted to get his Warlord onto my home field objective. So when he moved over this, he rolled a 1 for OBSEC. So since he rolled a 1, this guy's now OBSEC 0. But since he killed somebody, I think my Warlord or something, he's able to get +1 OBSEC. So he went from OBSEC 0 +1, so now he's OBSEC 1, which is what the judge ruled. So now he's OBSEC 1 on my home field objective. So then all I had to do was basically move my Demonettes back onto the objective to hold the point, because I went second, and then he wasn't able to get the Warlord on my home field at the end of the game, so he didn't get the primary or the 20 points on turn 5. So this is the end board state. Yellow unit's dead, green unit's pretty full, red unit's pretty good. Yellow unit's actually not dead. They're still on the home field objective, camping it. So this is the dude. Had to sign his flag. So Derek Apshey, Chaos Cult, all of his opponents were able to sign it, which was awesome. Such a smart idea. But this is the type of player that you're playing at Worlds, like just a super friendly, awesome, competitive, loves his nation game. Like it was really cool. So this is the final game, 96-40. So he had 18 for primary. Was this a kill more? No, this is Burden of Trust. That's what it was. And then 12 for secondary. So we had 0, 2, 5, 2, 3. Like, just brutal game. So 96 to 40 final matchup. So we're feeling confident. We're going into it, and then all of a sudden we get another Grey Knight player. This Grey Knight player knows exactly the army. I think he watches the Dirtbags as well. So fellow Dirtbag playing us. This game was tight, and really came down. This is awesome, dude. And really came down to this play up here, which we'll get into. With movement and piling and all that stuff, like, you have to be precise, and I don't think I was as precise as I thought. We'll get into it. So this is the deployment. He went first, I believe. All right, I must have went first because the Seekers are all the way up front. So he had Drago, 10-man brick of Terminators with Drago. He had Strikes. He had Libby, Dread Knight. This is a cool addition. So he had the Infiltrators with the 4-man character unit that can bring guys back, which they give them Infiltrate, and there's a couple guys in here that have a 4-up invuln save. You can bring back D3 guys a turn. Really cool unit. I really wanted to test them out in Grey Knights, because having an Infiltrate unit with Grey Knights is definitely good addition to them. He had the Assassin and then another 5-man Terminators with a Librarian over here. So just surrounding his dude so that way the Terminators don't get charged turn 1. I had my Scout unit down here. He had the Dread and another Libby back here. So he had Libby's, Dreads, Terminators with Drago, Terminators with Libby, and then a unit of Infiltrator dudes down here. So our turn 1, we basically move up everybody onto the points. We have these guys screening out. I just basically want to put as many OPSEC on this point so that way if his Terminators do commit, he can't try and steal this turn 1. So down here, we basically tie up, or we tag this center. We basically wait back because we don't want to commit. We wait back and we hold this center down here. And that was our turn 1. He then kills, obviously, all the Seekers. He then starts whittling down Bile's unit with the Dread Knights and the dudes. He's got Strikes moving up over here. And he charges the Terminators, and he basically charges the Terminators into, I believe, he wanted to charge these guys, but he failed. So then we have to now commit into Drago's unit. Where's Cypher? Cypher is probably, where the fuck is Cypher's all the way back here, because into the Grey Knights, I know playing Grey Knights, going into Cypher, I want to try and kill Cypher as soon as possible. So I'm putting Cypher all the way in the back. I mean, if he's up here, he probably is going to die to a Librarian coming down either within 3 inches or coming back here. So I'm trying to protect Cypher as much as possible for more of a late game. So this is basically what happened over here. We committed with our green squad, full reroll state and wound, +1 a wound. Bile committed, the Rhino committed. Everything is just trying to kill the Terminators as much as possible. What had happened here was Bile was basically 3 inches away here. He then piles in 3 inches, and he's supposed to be base to base with like one of these dudes, or he was within 1 inch of another person. Now, after I was done moving him, this is where like it kind of got thing, because I had, to me, I had plenty of movement. I moved up 3 inches. All right, he's gonna go attack. 1 inch is pretty freaking big. So when he put the 1 inch down, I was off by like a hair. So then to me, I was like, dude, I think I was within 1 inch. Like, he's like, well, did you have the move? And I was like, yeah, I mean, now you're making me second guess it. So then I had the movement. So then he basically moved this guy up. I was able to get into combat. And this is where I felt so bad, because when he attacked, the fucking dude rolled 3 1s. I'm like, I'm just sitting there like this, because he's like, how much damage? I was like, 3. And he's like, fuck. So then I actually kill all of the Terminators and leave Drago because of that. So like, obviously you don't ever want this to happen. Like, you don't want to question movement, and obviously it leads to this where 3 Terminators died because he was in but wasn't in. Like, he was in. I would say that now. Like, I'm not gonna fucking try and cheat and get extra movement, because everybody knows me. Like, I literally use widgets, teach people how to use widgets. Like, that is what I try and do. So in this type of game, again, we're at Worlds, so super friendly players, people all over the world, stuff like that. You want to be precise, but you also want to know, like, all right, this is what's happening. I'm going to fight with these guys, then he's going to pile in 3 inches and fight here. You kind of want to like tell something everything that happens ahead of time. So that way, like, you both agree this is what's happening. And again, you guys are on that level where we're both really good players. He plays Grey Knights, I love Grey Knights, stuff like that. So we're both trying to have a friendly game, and you both should be able to agree what happens before you move. Great example is when you are, before you move a unit, you measure where this unit that you're trying to charge to the unit before you move it. So if you measure, you're like, all right, you're 20 inches away. That means you're within 19. If you move 10, for example, now you're within 10, you need a 9-inch charge. You both agree? Great. Let's say they move up and now they're within that, like they moved an extra inches by accident. You both agreed before you moved that you needed a 9-inch charge. How the hell do you now need an 8-inch charge? So that was a great example where you want to measure before you move so that way you both agree. So that way if they happen to move further than they were supposed to, they're like, oh wait, I need an 8-inch now. I'm like, nope, you probably just moved a little bit further than you were supposed to. You need a 9, you know? So like you could both agree to that before that. And that's a great example here where if you would have both agreed, all right, he's within 3. Can you measure that for me real quick? Yes, he is. Great. Do you mind if I move him now? All right, move him up. Great. He's within 3 inches. That's what should have happened instead of the place where we're at now. All right, I think I had movement. You don't think I had movement. What are we going to do here? Could roll off, you know, if you really want to get to that. But again, I had it. He's like, all right, you have it. We went into it, rolled. He rolled bad. Lost 3 Terminators. So that was kind of like where this happened, and that's where it kind of turned like downhill because he still would have attacked. Yes, you did roll 3 ones. That fucking sucks, but you probably should have lost maybe 1 Terminator, maybe, or they probably could have all lived because it's on a 3-up save instead of a 2-up save. Who the hell knows? But yeah, so we killed all the Terminators here, and that's Drago. So again, if you're going to play in a tournament scene, always agree before you move your models. If there's any questions about it, have them pre-measure for you, have them check, make sure they agree, and then you can then start moving. So I think the thing here also with the Rhino basically moved out of the way first, so that way Bile can then move up to get into combat with the Terminators, because the Rhino wasn't going to do anything. He basically just moved up to get out of the way, and then Bile moved up to do the attack. So that was where this thing happened. And obviously he still has 2 fucking Dread Knights left right behind there. So after that play, he still has all of the Terminators with so Terminator, Libby, Solo Libby, Assassin, Strikes, Libby, 2 Dread Knights, all these dudes back here. I think the Assassin's up there. And then these guys are just running backwards to not get charged by my yellow squad. So yeah, let's get into the next turn. This guy is still holding the point down here. Demonettes came down defensively, which I started doing more often. So they're basically coming down to set up a good turn where they're reliable. Coming down in the open to try and make an 8-inch charge usually fails. So I started learning that if they come down defensively and they either come down defensively to try and make an 8-inch charge or come down defensively to set up for next turn, because they're speed 9 and they're 2 OBSEC and they kill shit on objectives. So them coming down defensively to set up for another wave of bodies is what I started playing them as. So Bile is up here. I think Drago fell back over here. 2 Dreads are just lined up to shoot everything. He still has a ton of guys up here. And then Cypher's still chilling in the back here. These guys want to now trying to commit up here to go after this unit. Let's turn this for you. All right, so Red Squad came in, surrounding this Dread again. Can't fall back unless he desperate escapes. He's got a Solo Libby here, Solo Libby there. These Terminators committed to the center. Cypher started running up here. We're holding this objective pretty reliably. We committed up here. Now, I didn't do any full reels to hit and wound on this squad, so this squad literally lasted for 3 turns into my ACDC brick, which was crazy. Drago came back down over here, made a 9-inch charge, so now he's fighting cultists on this point over here. Drago falls back. These guys finally whittled down that unit over here. We have our green squad, which I believe died. to these Terminators up here. So moved up, charged, killed these guys, stole the objective. Dread Knight's still in combat over here. Assassin is just stopping everything from happening. 4 reels to hit and wound is 2 CP now. Dread Knight finally dies. Scoot up over here. The yellow unit commits to advance and charging to try and steal the home field objective. These Terminators are still alive, trying to do actions on this point. We're holding the center. Drago is, I think, back on the objective over here, just in combat. Drago is over here. I think he might have died. I think I threw a grenade at him. And then this is the final score. So this is the final map. He's got unit Terminators with a Libby. He's got Dread Knight, I think, died. So all he has left is Terminators with a Libby. And I think that's it, because all these guys died over here. So final board state, we had 10, 15, 15, 15, 50. And then for secondary, I had 0, he had 0, 11, 0, 5, 8, 3, 4, 8, 10. So we had 22 for secondary. So we finished up with 48 to 87. Game 6 against Grey Knights. Last 2 games going into tomorrow is Linchpin and Take and Hold. So final 2 games of the tournament. All right, this game was super fun. Going into 3 Dorns. I actually played this mission or this matchup before. I was pretty confident going into it. The terrain setup definitely helped. Is terrain layout 1, which is the one that we have most practice on. So going into guard with layout 1 compared to layout fucking 4, completely different game. So I'm able to do the same thing I do always, stepping stone. I'm able to pile up or scout move up. If I have to commit, I commit forward and then charge. He put Dorn on the line, Dorn on the line, Dorn on the line. Battle tank, 2-up save. I keep saying 2-up save because I didn't know this guy has a 2-up save going into this tournament, but it's pretty cool. He's got the big battle cannon that has USA on it. I love USA, which is hilarious. This guy had an interpreter with him, which was cool. Like, he spoke English, but it was like a broken English. So he understood and could kind of speak it back, but he had an interpreter there who helped out a bunch. So it was really cool, just having your buddy come up with you to kind of watch you and help you play 40k. He had a Sentinel in the back, which I think was in reserves. Ogren, 6-man. I think another 6-man Ogren, maybe over here. The full battle commander squad with the horsey dude, and that was it. So we do get turn 1, which helped out. I think that's really what won us the game, was going first with the Dorns, because you can see our deployment pretty aggressively. The guys could then scout backwards if I don't go first, or scout sideways. These guys again could scout sideways to get in this little pocket, so that way if he does move up, I just commit and try and kill Dorn turn 1. So if he moves up the Dorn onto the objective, let's say he moves up this Dorn, doesn't have a ton of shooting turn 1, like you're not really going to shoot at anything turn 1. So at least I gave him something to shoot at turn 1. Let him play the game a little bit. So these guys, same thing. They start behind the wall, so that way they can advance into this corner, so they can set up turn 2 for a next wave. So let's get into it. Turn 1, this is where we end up. So Seekers, there were some rattlings behind this little wall. So Seekers scout up 9, like kind of little like U shape, because I can't end within 9 inches of these rattlings. So scout up 9, and then they charge the rattlings. They kill the rattlings, and they pile back onto the objective. I try and get behind the objective as much as possible, but I can't with how I needed to charge. So these 2 wound up staying on the point, or on the terrain feature, which they're just going to get blown up anyway. And then we committed to tying up as much as possibly over here. So we charged the Ogren, the battle tanks, and then we did 4 rolls to hit and wound. We did 4 wounds to, I believe, this tank, 4 wounds to that tank, and we killed all but 1 Ogren. So we killed an Ogren squad early, and we tied up both tanks so that way they can't move out. So they're basically stuck there until my squad dies. And look, we set up for next turn, so these green squads can then commit and charge. Cypher moved up so he can do some stuff. These guys tag the point, so that way I can try and make it sticky. Nurgling's kind of just chilling. He should be off the point. I don't know why he's on the point. And then we're basically just setting up for secondaries turn 2. Okay, his turn 2. He keeps his Dorns there because he can't move them. And then he moves up this Dorn on the point, this battle commander on the point. This guy scooches all the way up to here. He can't charge over this terrain feature because he'll land on it. So he kind of just leaves that there. Demonettes came back here to try and charge. The Beast of Nurgle came back here to try and charge. And then these guys came in over here. So since I went first, I couldn't really rapid these guys. It probably would have been too late. So these guys came in over here, got within 9. If I can make that charge, it's basically game over. I think I failed the charge. And then up here, we brought in these guys. They made the charge, 9-inch charge, which is, again, keep the Dorn in his deployment zone. We committed the green squad, so they moved up. Advance 1 CP charge, so that way they can get into the Dorn and finish off the Ogrins. So the Ogrins here moved up, charged. Horsey's unit moved up, charged. So now basically everybody's in combat over here. The yellow squad somehow is still alive because they couldn't really be shot at, only from the Dorns. The Dorn have so many blast weapons, so you can't shoot the blast weapons into the units. So rolling 5 so for some melter guns is pretty freaking hilarious. So yeah, so this Dorn's tied up. This Dorn is tied up. We're just trying to kill all the infantry, keep the Dorns tied up. I don't really care about them. These guys get +1 to wound always, so they're probably going to be fighting the Dorn next turn. This guy only took 1 wound. We're trying to surround him. He's got a flamer, but we're trying to surround him, so he has to take a desperate escape. These guys got on the point, so we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He's only got 5, 6, 7, 8. And then he can get up to 10 if he wants to give them extra OC. So that was the goal here, was to move these guys up, charge this thing, keep 5 guys on the point. So that way if he does kill me, I can just remove like this guy or this guy. So I'm still in coherency and I steal the point from him. So I stole the point with those guys. These guys failed their charge. And everything else is tied up here. So this is where it comes down to, oh, and these guys failed the charge. If they would have made their charge over here, that would have been amazing. So 8-inch charge to get into there, to try and just murder these guys on the point and steal his home field objective would have been great, but we didn't do it. So he brings the Sentinel on, whittles these guys down to, I believe, 5. The horsey guys in combat, the green guys are still attacking here. These guys, the yellow squad, is only down to the character. These guys are doing their job, holding up the Dorn. Like, imagine just fucking 10 Coles is just holding a Dorn tank back in real life. This is Sticky. Excuse me. This is Sticky. Bio, I believe, is still in his transport, just waiting to come out. Aquilans come down, steal my objective in the center. And this is where another thing happened. So I let this guy do a bunch of takebacks. Again, the language barrier, stuff like that. The guy was helping out, translate. I kept letting him do different stuff. Like, he's like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm like, yeah, do whatever. It's fine. Because it could have been done differently before he knew prior knowledge. So that's another thing Matt DeFranza always says, like, as long as you don't have new knowledge, you can do whatever you wanted to do. Like, let's say you rolled a 6 and you're like, oh, I saved it, but I wanted to do something else. I'm like, no, you already rolled. You know what that roll is. You can't then go back and do something differently. So that's kind of where like takebacks comes into play, where like if you could have done something differently before you knew what was going to happen, 100% take it back. Do whatever you got to do, because we're playing, a game where it's really hard to remember what the fuck everything does. This game, this situation, he moved his Dorn tank up here to be within like 3 inches of these 4 guys that were on the point. So you see these 4 guys? So he moved his Dorn tank up to here, right? He's only like 3 inches away from the Dorn tank, so they can surge move into his Dorn tank. So he's like, oh, do you mind if I move the Dorn tank back this way instead? I was like, yeah, 100%. Like, the surge move is a bitch, so just move your Dorn tank back. So he moves his Dorn tank back to where this is now, right? And the Aquilans came down here to then shoot the red squad. So he shoots everything at the red squad. Once I start killing my guys, right, I take the first 4 guys from this thing, right? So now his Dorn can't see my red squad. So then he goes, oh, do you mind if I do not shoot them and shoot something else. And I'm like, this is where I pulled his interpreter over. I was like, hey, man, we're like game 7 now in the world championship. Like, I can't keep giving takebacks at this high of a level after you already know what was happening. Like, once he saw me taking away the models that he was going to shoot at with his Dorn, then he realized he fucked up, right? Again, this is way past you going back and then doing something else, right? I already let you have that take back. You're now shooting a unit fully into me, which now I can then remove the model so you can't see me. And like, there has to be some point of skill involved in this game rather than just keep giving each other takebacks beyond belief. So he 100% agreed. He's like, you are 100% right. The dude he was with was explaining it to him in the language, and he just kept shaking his head like, yep, that makes sense. Yep. So then we just continued. So the Dorn basically was only able to shoot at really nobody. I think he blew up the unit that was on the point here. Maybe some demonettes, but like that right there was a knowledge play that you knew after it had happened. Like if you move the Dorn maybe up again to then see this unit and then shoot them, then yeah, you would have been able to kind of surge move into you, stuff like that. So that was another example of like take back versus prior knowledge. So if that ever comes up in your games, make sure you're discussing that. Having prior knowledge to then going into a take back is different than having a take back before you do anything. The first game that I explained this to, with the guy falling back and then almost losing the game, before he shot anybody, I let him have that take back because he didn't shoot anything yet. So he then moved the guy the opposite way. It's like, that's fine. This situation, he started shooting his entire unit into me, which then I started moving the models, and then he wanted to take back. That's completely different. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys, how to describe takebacks, being in a friendly manner, and also making sure that you're not getting yourself fucked and losing a game because you're allowing too many takebacks, especially at a world championship where you spend a shit ton of money going to, that you're trying to place pretty high to get points for, whatever. So that's kind of my description of this. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope it's like not dickish to explain it to your opponent that way, but that's the best way I can explain it to you guys, because it made sense to me how I explained it to him. It made sense to him, so we kept going. So that was cool. Then we got into this where they obviously committed. They're now +1 strength, +1 attack because they're at below half strength. They failed their battle shock, which I forgot that this guy has take away battle shock. So I could have like moved this guy over a little bit, be within 12 inches of this unit. At the beginning of any phase, I can make them not battle shocked, so that way they can go do an action or steal a point. So that's where I kind of messed up. I forgot this guy has that, which I used at last night's game, which was funny. The Aquilans got charged by some random cultists. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 left. Cypher's there, Rhino's there. These guys are still waiting in the back to do something. These guys are still holding up the Dorn. Green squad is pretty spread out in the unit with the horse guy. The Demonettes moved up, charged up. Dorn died after the full rerolls from this squad. And then these guys made the charge back here to tie up this vehicle. So this vehicle's tied up. This one's tied up with the ACDC. This one didn't really move since turn 2. This Dorn died. So it's not looking good at this point. And this is basically the final board state. This guy didn't die. He just, it's the end of the game. So this is where we kind of start talking it out. So everything got removed off the table. He's got 19 minutes left. I still have 31 minutes left. And then this is the final score. So we talked it out after 3, but we basically wound up with 100 to his 54 because we mapped over what he was going to get. I was going to max out primary. I basically had 16, 20, like I basically would have, no matter what, got max on secondary points. Then he had 5, 5, 5, 5 because he wasn't able to control any of these center objectives. Because every time he did get on the point, I just ran up my guys to stop his primary, which is what this list is so good for, especially 2 OBSEC on most of the shit. So end of the game, his secondary points were 5, 9, 0, 3, and then 7. Finished up with 54 to 100. So game 7, We are now 6-1. So we're trying to finish off 7-1. We're going into Alex. Let me get his last name, who's awesome dude from Canada. MacDougall. Alex MacDougall, if you guys might know him. Awesome dude. Probably one of the best games I played all weekend. Knows TJ Lanigan, knows all the players. Art of War, I think he had his jersey from. And I never played Chaos Cult or Genestealer Cult in 10th edition, which is sad. Sad to say, but good because they're fucking insane. Before the nerf, like this is all before the nerf. But he's got the 3 characters that get back up on a 2+. All these guys fight on death. 1, 2, 3 full units. These guys are just insane. This guy has the mortar. I think it's out of line of sight. 2 of these buggies. I think they're like 8 wounds, toughness 8. Insanely ton of shots, all last cannon shots. He's got this truck, flamers, flamers. The character, 10 of these guys. These dudes just have like random guns and a unit of 5. Now on turn 1 and 2, I think they get back up on a 4+, and then on turn 4s, 5, and 6, they get back up on a 5+. So my goal here is to whittle them down to wait to turn 4 to try and do something. So that way, hopefully, they don't come back. But again, this one was just brutal. Like, we're both super quick. We both hit really hard. He's got a lot more shooting than I, so he's able to deploy pretty aggressively. He keeps his big unit back pretty far, so that way if I do go first, I can then scout up, charge, and then kill this unit off the table, which he doesn't want. So he starts him pretty defensively. All these guys go defensively, and I happen to go first. So we scouted up, and I think we waited this turn because, again, I don't really know what they do. So we're going to like move up a little bit and see what the fuck is going to happen. So we move up, get a bunch of guys on the point, wait back. All these guys move out because he does have like not the best armor save. So I know that my pot shots could actually kill some shit. These guys, though, 4 up or 5 up invuln with like 2 wounds each is a lot to chew through. So we get this unit down to 1.5 guys. These guys have the dudes inside. They scoot out, can't get on the objective. These dudes move up. These guys move up to try and block. I wanted to scout forward and then charge because I think I had behind enemy lines. So I wanted to move up, charge. I failed the charge, so I couldn't get behind enemy lines over here. A bunch of dudes in this back corner here. They're just going to basically hold this point the rest of the game. I was like, all right, so I'm not really going to touch this point forever, which sucks. So he's going to hold that point. I'm basically going to hold this point. Green guys are just holding that, waiting to come out. And yeah, that was our turn 1. His turn 1 basically moves up, gets everybody into position, setting up for turn 2, like committing. So he committed his turn 2, I believe. Yeah, turn 1 he moved up to the wall. Turn 2 he committed, made the charge. We had this guy survive, the character survive, 1, 2, 3 of these guys survive. Didn't kill all of our units, so we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these big guys. Bile's in the tank. Cypher's here to try and stop any shenanigans. These guys are still in the tank. Tank committed as well. And nothing else moved up. These aberrants moved up. Got shot by the tanks. So these guys died to shooting rather than charges. And this is where turn 3 happened. So this is where, oh my god, this is just brutal. Everything just starts coming in. You can see all of this shit, like deep strike, reserves, deep strike, blocking out the backfield. These guys move up, tie up my units. The character finally died. The aberrants committed. Just so much shit is going on. These guys advanced out. They're going to kind of start surrounding me and just kill everything. So these guys made the charge. They basically get super far into my zone. So after all of this, right, he charges in almost everything. All the characters get back up on a 2+. Like, that is just brutal. The aberrants fight on death, so he doesn't care about interrupting. He's just I'm gonna fight on death. So the character, all these guys, they basically get charged. I think I one round them because it's pretty easy, but then they fight on death, so they don't really care about being one rounded. They're at least fighting still. These aberrants, again, fight on death. This guy got knocked out. He's going to get back up. I tie up the truck, which was probably a mistake because all my big guys are over here. They're nowhere near the trucks. So now I tied myself up. So basically, I'm stuck in combat with vehicles that I'm too far away to do anything with. So that was my mistake. The aberrants are now getting ready. These guys fucking came back, the 10-man unit. So they came back. Aberrants are now getting ready to charge in. These trucks are moving up. This truck fell back, didn't take a desperate escape, like didn't die to the desperate escape. These guys are moving up to get some flamers going. These guys charged in the Genestealers, but then they died to the clapback. And then these aberrants are just waiting around. So he has 34 minutes left. I have 25 minutes left. This is kind of like the same board state. And then this is after turn 4. He's got 5 minutes left. I have 7 minutes left. So we're basically running out on a 4-hour long game just because of how many rolls and movement and all that shit. These guys are now, they killed one tank. They're trying to kill this other tank. Holding this backfield. He's holding his pretty reliably. We're just fighting everything over the center on this. Beast and Nurgle came down to do an action here. Demonettes came down here defensively to then move up and try and steal the primary. Bile got out. These guys charged from behind the wall over here to get back into combat. These two vehicles charged. The aberrants charged. So I'm basically whittling down and losing points, but I'm trying to hold primary. That is really what these guys are trying to do. And then at this point, after this turn, I think he clocked. So it got down to him having like 2 minutes left. He basically just runs up, throws everything on the point, sees how many score he can get. I think I have 5 minutes left, so I'm basically just running to try and just steal primary from him. So it comes down to him clocking, us having like 2 minutes left. So we wound up with just pulling us secondaries. We finished off with 37 on primary. With 13 turn 1, which was huge. Us stealing the middle point with the counter charges and everything saved us in this matchup. So 37 on primary, 33 on secondaries. We had 5, 8, 5, 5, 10. He had 3 turn 1, so it was a 10-point swing. 8, 8, 8. So we basically tied on that. So I had 37, he had 27, but his secondaries were better. He had 11 turn 1, 7, 5, 10, 5. So we had 38, I had 33. So 5-point swing there. But we had a 10-point swing on the primary. So it really is a 5-point difference. If he would have had a full turn 5, I guess, like if it didn't come down to clock, he probably could have won maybe based off of the secondaries, because I think he only got these secondaries. Oh, and primary. So he would have had, because he went second. So he could have had primary probably here, here, and here. So it would have literally came down to either a tie or he would have won by 2 to 3 points. So clock came down to the very end. One of my favorite games all weekend. Just such an awesome dude. He won best in faction. Genestealer Cult. The guard guy I played won best in faction. The demon player I played won best in faction. And I don't know if the knights player won best in faction, but a lot of the players I played against won best in their faction, meaning that you had the highest ranking score of your faction. And they gave one out for every single faction. TJ Lanigan won the best in faction T-Suns, which we hung out with. And then we won best in faction Chaos Space Marine. So there's a bunch of Chaos Space Marine players there, like a lot of them. We round up ranking higher. At the end of the day, we placed 8th place out of, I believe it was 271 players. So there was only 15 players that only had one loss. And we went 7-1. So we had one loss. So out of 15 players of 271 players to have one loss. And then there was one completely undefeated player, which was Folger. Custodes won the entire thing. Congrats. And then John Lennon came in second. He lost a 71-57 loss to Custodes with his guard. The top 7 of 16 players were guard. So that just shows how busted they were going into world championships. Jesper, we lost to him at ACO. He's from Sweden. He placed 4th. He was in bracket 2. And then we have Italy. So we have United States, Canada, Sweden, Italy, Sweden, United States. Us at 8th was United States, Spain, Germany, United States, China, 15th, and then 16th was Italy. So he was the one I lost to on round 3. So top 16, those are the winnings. So guys, it was just such a fun experience. Like, if you have the opportunity to win even a small GT and getting that golden ticket and flying out or going to Atlanta, Georgia, it was so worth the trip. You met such awesome people. You played such great games. They had really cool swag there as well. Being able to play a 4-hour game, only 2 games a day, was super chill. You're able to do some more stuff, hang out, talk to more people, drink a lot of beer, and just kind of meet people from all over the world playing the game that you really love to play. So this was just a great, I can't say anything enough how cool of an experience this was, and being able to tell all the dirtbags on how we were doing. Like, they were just rooting me on the entire time, keeping up with like all the scores, and like we were going over at night like what our matchups would be for the next day. So a lot of help from the dirtbags and the coaches, just like, hey, what do I do into this unit, or what do I do into this army? Because like, you get to see who you played before. She's like, all right, what the hell do I do into this? And they gave me like a bunch of pointers. So it was really cool, especially playing armies that I never played before. But Chaos Cult, still a threat. Didn't really get a nerf afterwards. Astra Militarum definitely did. A lot of the points hikes, a lot of buffs with Space Marines as well. So we are going to be bringing Chaos Cult, finishing it off 2024 season at Las Vegas Open. We did switch up the list a little bit. We're running Sio, which I definitely love testing out. It won a GD last weekend, which we'll probably do a video on. And having a 2d6 AP1 devastating wound flamer definitely helps having, and just 9 wounds, toughness 6, 4 of invuln, getting back up on a 2+ late game helps out a lot as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It was a lot longer video than I thought. Hour and a half, not too bad. So hopefully if you guys are still here, appreciate it. If you guys are interested in coaching, we do offer coaching at the Dirtbag Nation. We have competitive Dirtbags, which you get coaching one-on-one with me or another Dirtbag coach, which we go over unlimited list ideas, tactics, any questions. Just having that coach in your corner to bounce ideas off of, that's really what we're here for. And if you guys are making lists and just have any questions, like anytime I played the game, I always would ask like the top players that I played, like, hey, what do you think about this list? That is basically what we do for you, and it's always good to have that guy to bounce ideas off of, and that way you get to go and kind of test out ideas from really pros in the game that you guys play and love and spend so much money on. That's what the competitive Dirtbag's for. Grandmasters, you guys get to set up calls with us anytime you guys need, once a month, to go over a GT or RTT that is coming up, to go over tactics, missions that you're playing. You guys get to take pictures of battle reports that you do in test games, and then we get to go over your battle reports with you one-on-one. So that's what the Grandmaster status is for, and you get your own little green name tag in Discord. If you guys are on the Patreon, you get your own Patreon Discord chat, which, you know, me and the other Dirtbag coaches are always in there. That's where I'm at most of the time, and you guys get to kind of just talk to us anytime, any day about this game that we all love. So hopefully this, guys, was a great video that I was able to talk about and talk a lot. So my mouth is kind of dry. Got the coffee here still. It's kind of early on the East Coast. But you get these videos ahead of time on patreon.com, which I'm going to be posting this up today. But guys, I appreciate it. Good luck. Number 1 in the United States right now. Number 1 Chaos Space Marine player, which we're going for 2024. And we'll see what happens in 2025. So appreciate it. Good luck. And we'll see you in another video soon. But guys, let's get back to the video. What's up, gents? 40K Dirtbags here. If you guys are thinking about joining the Patreon page, we're going to go over each tier and how it's going to benefit you and what you're looking for specifically to get out of 40K in 10th edition coming up. There's a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of tactical videos up on the channel, which is for free. There's going to be a bunch of perks that you get specifically for being a part of the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. So first off, we have the first tier, which is $1 a month. You guys get first access to the videos over at patreon.com. You also get access to the Discord, which is specifically a private link in the Discord that only Patreon members can see. So you guys will have first access to that. Also a benefit is Patreons over the Dirtbag Nation get live streamed games on patreon.com streamed from YouTube, but there's only links specifically for the patreons.com. So not only do you get first access to these videos, you also get to see live stream games specifically only on patreon.com. The next tier is the Justicar. You guys get a shout out on every single video on YouTube. You also get to support us a little bit more. You get first dibs at voting on Discord, as well as you just kind of say, hey, I just want to be a Justicar Dirtbag and support you guys a little bit more than that $1 a month tier. But you get all the same access as well as the different color over on the Discord. So the third tier is the competitive Dirtbag. This tier, you get a lot more one-on-one coaching. This is a lot of the Dirtbags over on the Dirtbag Nation. They are able to send out messages one-on-one, go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about. When I was getting into 40K, or really any game in general, I always wanted to message the top players in the meta and just ask them questions. This $10 a month tier gets you that opportunity to message us one-on-one on Discord, so that way we can actually coach you, give you our insights, suggestions, and that's going to get you better at the 40K 10th edition as a whole. So that tier alone, just $10 a month to have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one messages anytime throughout the month, that's going to be a perfect tier for you guys. Even if you're brand new to the game, we go over 1,000 point list, 1,500 point list, 2,000 point brand new starting list, team list, anything you guys need. That's what the competitive Dirtbag tier is for. Also, you get a little bit red number name tag on Discord, so people know that you're really serious about getting into the competitive scene. The Grandmaster Dirtbags. This is the all-in-all $25 a month tier. You get one-on-one coaching, everything we said prior to this, but you guys get to see me, Mike, any of the other Dirtbags play your specific list that you want to see tested out live on one of our battle reports. You guys get to mention, suggest videos you guys want to see coming up on patreon.com. So you guys get the above first tier benefit of everything that we do over at Dirtbag Nation. All the support mainly comes from you guys supporting us over here at Dirtbag Nation. And Grandmasters, I can't thank you enough, but for $25 a month, you get one-on-one coaching and anything you want to see live on the tabletop. So you get to see a professional play right in front of you. You guys get to kind of like see it one-on-one, and I'm actually making this specifically for you. There's also TTS events that you guys can suggest. If you guys want to do a first 1 or 2 turn run through on TTS, we can actually log in and coach you one-on-one with that. If you guys see us at any GTs, you guys get special benefits, free dice, stuff like that. Anytime you purchase a merch thing on Discord, you guys get a free limited edition Dirtbag dice sent to you with every single purchase on top of that. So there's a lot of benefits coming up with the Grandmaster Dirtbag. Because I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Definitely let me know which tier would be best for you if you go over to patreon.com and specifically go to a tier. And make sure you don't forget to message me up on Discord. That's where we check every single day. If you guys are really into getting into 10th edition 40K, head over to Patreon, join the competitive Dirtbag or the Grandmaster. Message me as many times as you possibly want, and I'll coach you the best I possibly can on any specific army that you guys play. Mainly our armies right now, currently, going into 2024, is going to be Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Death Guard, and then we have Custodes, Sisters, and I think that's it going into the Wings of 2024. But again, any other army that you guys play, we have other coaches lined up for the Dirtbags that are ready to take on that role of the competitive Dirtbag page. So guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining the Dirtbag Nation if you guys are already part of us. And we'll see you in another video soon.